Welcome back to By the Pages, where we delve into fascinating books and extract those golden nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi.
I'm excited for this one.
I am too.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Personal finance.
You can find a link to the book in the description below.
Definitely check it out.
This book is like a treasure chest, overflowing with practical personal finance advice, and it's packed with real stories
Yeah.
of people who totally transformed their relationship with money using Ramit's methods.
Right.
So are you ready to unlock the secrets to building a rich life?
Let's dive in.
All right, let's get started.
I Will Teach You to Be Rich is like this refreshing breeze in the world of personal finance. It cuts through all that noise and gives you these actionable steps
Right.
that you can actually use to take control of your finances.
Yeah.
And what I really love about Ramit's approach is that he emphasizes that building wealth doesn't mean you have to, deprive yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about, being a miser.
Yeah.
It's all about making these conscious choices,
Right.
aligning your spending with your values, and setting up systems that actually fit your life.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from the book that really stuck with me is the importance of starting early.
Oh, absolutely.
Ramit illustrates this so well
Yeah.
with his example of Smart Sally,
Yeah.
who starts investing at 25,
Right.
versus Dumb Dan, who waits till he's 35.
10 years. Big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
They both consistently invest the same amount.
Okay.
But when they reach 65, Sally ends up with a way bigger nest egg.
Yeah.
And that, just seeing that visual really drives home the power of compound interest.
For sure.
How to time is your greatest ally when it comes to growing your wealth.
It's such a striking example.
Yeah.
Of how those early years can just make such a difference. Even if you feel like right now you can only invest small amounts, understand that the magic of compound interest allows those small amounts to potentially grow like a snowball into significant wealth over time. And I think Ramit does a great job of debunking the myth that it's ever too late to start investing.
Yeah, he really does.
He shares stories of people who started in their 40s and 50s,
Yeah.
even 60s, and still achieve some really impressive results.
Right.
It's never too late. You can start today and still benefit from that compounding power.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the book goes beyond just investing.
Yeah.
It introduces this whole concept of conscious spending.
I love that term.
Yeah.
Conscious spending.
Ramit uses this term to describe a way of spending where you figure out what brings you joy.
Yeah.
And you spend generously on those things.
Right.
But you ruthlessly cut back on the things that don't align with your values.
Exactly.
And it's not about traditional budgeting where you feel restricted.
Right.
It's about making sure your spending reflects what truly matters to you.
Aligning it. Yeah. I think it's a much more empowering way to think about your money.
Totally.
In the book, Ramit compares the partier who spends, a good chunk of their income going out to the nonprofit employee who lives pretty frugally,
Right.
but saves aggressively.
Yes.
They've both crafted their spending to reflect what they value.
Right.
It's not about right or wrong. It's about understanding what you value and making sure your choices reflect that.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It really challenges that traditional idea of budgeting, which can often feel like this battle between you and your desires.
Yeah, you're constantly restricting,
Right.
depriving yourself.
But conscious spending feels more like you're in control
Exactly.
of your money,
You're the boss of your money.
not the other way around.
Yes. And Ramit takes that concept of control even further with the idea of automating your finances.
Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Yeah, right. Think of it like setting your financial life on autopilot.
I love that.
So he lays out this system he calls automatic money flow,
Right.
which automatically takes your income
Okay.
and sends it to all the different accounts, like your 401k, Roth IRA, savings.
Yeah.
And this system just takes the guesswork out of managing your money
Right.
and helps you stay consistent with your financial goals.
Because it's all happening in the background.
Exactly.
Without you having to think about it.
It's so appealing.
Yeah.
Because it frees up all this mental energy so you can focus on other parts of your life.
Right.
Instead of stressing about bills and transfers, it all just happens automatically.
Yeah.
And Ramit really breaks down exactly how to set up the system.
Yeah.
He shows you how to link your accounts, schedule those automatic transfers, and most importantly, he talks about how to make sure that the system evolves as your needs change.
Yeah.
As your goals change.
Yeah.
You can tweak it.
Yeah.
It's not a set it and forget it. It's
Well,
like you're constantly kind of like reevaluating
okay.
and making sure it's still working for you.
Absolutely.
Now, another area that a lot of people find really intimidating
Oh, yeah.
is investing.
Super intimidating.
Right. But Ramit does a phenomenal job of breaking down those barriers
Yeah.
and empowering you to become your own expert.
Mm-hmm.
He debunks this myth
Yeah.
that investing is all about picking those hot stocks
Right.
or relying on those like expensive financial advisors
Right.
who might not always have your best interest at heart.
It's true.
Right. So he really emphasizes the power of diversification
Mm.
and asset allocation,
Right.
which means spreading your investments across different asset classes like stocks and bonds and cash.
Right.
This approach helps you manage risk
Okay.
and potentially maximize your returns over the long term.
Right.
He makes it super simple
Yeah.
by suggesting these easy to understand options like index funds
Mm.
and target date funds,
Right.
which are great
Yeah.
for beginners and seasoned investors alike.
I found his explanation of the Rule of 72
Oh, yeah.
so helpful.
Love the Rule of 72.
It's such a quick way to estimate how long it takes for your investments to potentially double.
Yeah.
And it makes the concept of investment growth more like tangible.
You can really visualize it.
You can.
Yeah,
You can really wrap your head around it.
absolutely. Now, Ramit also acknowledges that money isn't just about like numbers.
Right.
He addresses the emotional and psychological aspects of money.
Yes.
He reminds you that building a rich life is more than just accumulating wealth.
Mm-hmm.
It's about having those fulfilling relationships,
Yeah.
those meaningful experiences,
Yeah.
and having a sense of purpose.
One thing that I found really helpful was his advice on having those challenging conversations about money with your loved ones.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with like partners and parents.
Yes.
Yep.
He offers such practical tips for like navigating
Mhm.
those conversations, minimizing potential conflicts.
Yeah. It can be tough.
It can be really tough.
He also dives into how to manage finances and relationships.
Yeah.
Especially when there's that difference in income,
Yeah.
which can be tricky,
It can be.
but his insights can help you find a system that feels fair to both partners.
Yeah. What I appreciate is that he really encourages you to define what a rich life means to you personally.
Yes.
And he's like, all right, now let's create a plan to achieve it.
It's all about you.
It's all about you,
Well,
your vision,
yes.
your values.
So as we continue exploring Ramit's insights,
Okay.
I want you to think about this.
All right, I'm ready.
What does a rich life mean to you?
Ooh, good question.
What are your financial goals, and how do they align with your overall vision for your life?
Yeah,
So keep those questions in mind as we move forward.
definitely.
And if you're enjoying our deep dive, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations into the world of insightful books. We'll see you in the next one. So, Ramit doesn't shy away from tough topics like debt.
Right.
He dedicates a whole chapter to it,
Mm.
recognizing that emotional weight it carries.
Yeah.
And what I appreciate is his compassionate approach.
Yeah.
He doesn't shame anyone for being in debt.
Right.
He just offers clear strategies for managing and conquering it.
I agree. His approach feels very empowering and understanding.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving you tips, he digs into like the psychology of debt
Yeah.
and explores those invisible money scripts that we get
Yes.
from our families
So true.
and how those influence our financial behavior.
Those invisible scripts are powerful.
They are.
And Ramit helps you see those thought patterns that can keep you stuck in
Mhm.
debt. Like, I'll
Mhm.
never get out of this, or I'm bad with money.
Right.
Those thoughts can hold you back,
Yes.
but once you're aware of them, you can challenge them,
Right.
reframe them.
Absolutely.
So for credit card debt, he provides a clear roadmap. It starts with seeing how much you owe,
Right.
and then he guides you through the steps,
Oh.
like contacting your lenders to negotiate lower interest rates
Mhm.
or restructure your payment plans.
Okay.
And he's big on making debt repayment a priority.
Yes.
Automating those payments is huge.
Yeah.
It takes the mental effort out of it,
Right.
and you're consistently chipping away at that debt.
I like it.
He also introduces methods like a snowball method,
Right.
where you focus on paying off the smallest debts first
Yeah.
to build momentum and
Right.
stay motivated.
That feeling of accomplishment can really keep you going.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
So you're seeing those small wins.
Hmm.
It makes it less daunting.
Absolutely. Now, another big part of financial health is your credit score.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It affects everything from getting loans
Yeah.
to renting an apartment.
For sure.
And Ramit does a great job of breaking this down
Yeah.
into understandable pieces.
He really demystifies it.
Yeah.
So he explains what your credit report and score are made of
Oh.
and what affects them.
Mm-hmm.
Things like your payment history,
Right.
your credit utilization,
Yeah.
the length of your credit history.
Yeah.
All of those things contribute to that number.
Yes.
And he gives practical advice on how to improve it,
Okay.
like paying on time
Right.
and keeping your credit card balances low.
Okay.
He also busts some myths,
Oh, like what?
like the idea that closing old credit cards is good.
Right.
He explains that keeping those older accounts open can actually be beneficial as long as you're managing them responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
It shows a longer credit history.
Interesting.
So Remit is all about empowering you,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to investing.
Right.
He dispels the myth that investing is only for the wealthy or people with a finance degree.
Right.
He breaks it down into easy steps.
Okay.
He walks you through those key concepts:
Wait, what?
asset allocation, diversification. He encourages you to think long-term.
Okay.
Build a portfolio that matches your risk tolerance
Yeah.
and financial goals.
And he simplifies those different investment options.
Yeah.
Like index funds and target date funds.
Those are great.
Yeah.
He explains why they're great for beginners
Okay.
and experienced investors.
And he cautions against trying to time the market.
Oh, yeah. Huge mistake.
Yeah.
Chasing hot stocks.
Yeah.
He advocates for a more disciplined approach.
Okay.
Consistent investing.
Right.
Staying the course.
Yeah. Even when it's bumpy.
Even when the market gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
He's big on automating your investment.
Oh, yeah.
Takes the emotion out of it.
Right.
Helps you build wealth steadily
Yeah.
without having to constantly think about it.
I like that.
And he provides clear instructions on how to choose investments
Okay.
that match your age, risk tolerance,
Mm-hmm.
and goals.
You know, a lot of people think of retirement as this distant thing.
Oh, yeah, it's way out there.
Yeah. But Ramit challenges that.
He does.
And he introduces this concept of FIRE.
Financial independence, retire early.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's about reaching that level of financial freedom.
Yeah.
Where you have the flexibility to choose how you spend your time.
Right.
Whether that's retiring early or pursuing your passions
Yeah.
or just having more options.
Exactly.
Now, FIRE isn't for everyone,
Right.
but exploring those principles can be really eye-opening.
For sure.
Even if you don't want to retire early.
Yeah.
Understanding how to save aggressively and invest strategically
Mm-hmm.
can help you reach any financial goal.
Absolutely.
And it goes back to defining what a rich life means to you.
Yeah.
It's not just about having money.
Right.
It's about having that freedom
Mm-hmm.
to design a life you love.
That reflects your values.
Yes.
Brings you joy.
Exactly.
So as we continue,
Okay.
I want you to think about what aspects of a rich life resonate with you.
Ooh, good question.
How can you start creating that life?
Yeah.
Keep those questions in mind.
So Ramit uses this really interesting analogy in the book.
Okay.
He compares our relationship with personal finance to our relationship with food.
Oh, that's interesting.
It highlights how a lot of our spending habits are unconscious,
Right.
like our eating habits.
Yeah, we consume calories without realizing it.
Exactly. And we can spend money without tracking it.
Makes sense.
And Ramit also points out how we tend to take anecdotal advice over research
Oh, yeah.
for both food and finances.
Right.
We might hear a friend rave about a diet or a hot stock.
Right. And jump right on it.
Yeah, without doing any research.
Yeah.
But just like a balanced diet is important for our physical health,
Mm-hmm.
making informed financial decisions is crucial for our financial well-being.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
Ramit really wants you to be aware of your financial habits
Yeah, okay.
and to make choices based on research.
Yeah, not just following the crowd.
Not just following the crowd, exactly.
So one of the most powerful messages in the book is that you don't need to make huge changes overnight
Right.
to see results.
Yeah.
He advocates for what he calls the 85% solution.
I love that.
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off.
It does.
It's like achieving 85% of the ideal outcome is enough.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
And that's so important.
It is.
It's about those big wins,
The things that really move the needle.
the actions that make the biggest impact.
Right. You don't have to obsess over every penny
No,
or become an expert overnight.
exactly.
And Ramit gives you these practical tips
Okay.
for implementing that 85% solution,
Like what?
like automating your savings,
Okay.
negotiating your bills,
Mm-hmm.
and cutting back without feeling deprived.
Right. Finding that balance.
Yeah, he wants you to find an approach that works for you,
Sustainable, yeah.
sustainable and enjoyable.
Right.
And speaking of enjoying the journey, Ramit always emphasizes aligning your spending with your values,
Absolutely.
spending on things you love.
Yeah, and cutting back on things you don't.
That's the beauty of conscious spending.
It is.
You decide what's important,
You're in control.
and you build your spending around it.
It's empowering.
It's much more guilt-free.
For sure.
It's about making choices that align with your priorities.
Yeah.
And that's what a rich life is about.
Right.
It's not just about the money.
It's about the life you create.
It's about creating a fulfilling life.
Yeah, one that reflects who you are.
Ramit shares stories throughout the book
Okay.
of people who've used his principles
Yeah.
to transform their lives.
And it's so inspiring
It's so inspiring.
to see that it's possible,
It shows you that you can achieve financial success
no matter where you're starting.
no matter where you're starting from.
Exactly.
You see people like Samir,
Yeah.
who built a retirement fund,
Okay.
or David, who learned about starting early,
Right.
and Hillary, who overcame debt by increasing your income.
That's amazing.
It shows you that Ramit's system can work for anyone,
Yeah.
that anyone can achieve financial success.
I love that.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive
Into I Will Teach You to Be Rich.
by Ramit Sethi.
Great book.
We've explored so many powerful ideas today,
We have.
from conscious spending to automating your finances,
Yeah.
investing wisely, and
Right.
building a rich life.
I feel richer already.
You can find a link to the book in the description.
Definitely check it out.
And if you enjoyed this episode,
We hope you did.
please like and subscribe
For more deep dives.
into books that can change your life.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.